Hickok 45 here. Gonna compare some shotguns and shoot some shotguns. That ain't bad. Have you ever thought you'd ever be able to buy a $140 shotgun, 12 gauge? Come on now. Well, I'm sorry, trash can. Well, you can. You can also buy a $600 shotgun, like this one. No, I thought I short-chucked it. That's right, I just put 4 in each one. They'll hold 5, but I've had 4 in there. So yes, there's a little discussion here about a cheap shotgun versus a more expensive shotgun. And maybe I should use the word cheap. You know, we tend to, you know, normally we want to say less expensive, and that's what it is. But boy, when you're $140 for a shotgun, 12 gauge, most of us just call that cheap, wouldn't we? But cheap does imply junk. Yeah, so we try to avoid using that word for a lot of things. It's less expensive. Now, to be determined whether it's actually junk. It is less expensive, isn't it? Much less expensive. And yeah, it might turn out to be junk for some people. I don't know. So hopefully you saw our first video. I'll link to our video on this thing. See if I can remember what happened in that video. But it's $150 Hatsan, however you pronounce it, the Escort Slugger, 12 gauge. Yeah, it's so inexpensive. Wow, we've got to compare this with yeah, one of the standard shotguns, because here you've got about the same thing in a Mossberg 590, and that is mine, 590A1. It's not the one you've seen. This is a shorter one, 18.5 inch barrel. It's basically the same configuration as this gun. I even have my little extenders on it so I get a little more length. And they're the same length barrel, the same capacity, you know, 5+1, maybe 6, depending on the ammo, but or maybe 4 if it's 3 inches, 3-inch shells you're shooting. So very, very similar, you know, same size, so many ways, just a handy little pump. Hey, let's do some dual wielding. You want to? Probably should. Kind of tough to pump, do rapid fire, wouldn't it? But you know, good old defensive kind of for your configuration, police shotgun, whatever you want to call it, right? And just a plain Jane, no frills, no chrome on the outside, no silver, no gold, no beautiful wood, just a very functional couple of shotguns. I've got another one here too for a reason I will disclose momentarily. Okay, so anyway, the gap is so extreme. I just thought we got to explore this a little more. Talked about some of that in the first video. And before I look at the Mossberg, now the Mossberg is what I think of in terms of comparing it, or a Remington. But my Remington, as you know, you've given me a hard time about that, and the last shotgun I'd ever give up. It's been modified. It's Wilson Combat, actually, you know, 870. But just forget about all the extra doodads on it, and you got kind of the same configuration again, don't you? And it's actually more like the Remington 870. It's got the you know, the brake here, the slide release up here. It's a bigger button. The safety's the same position, and it's the bolt in action is similar in the lockup. It's kind of patterned after a Remington 870. Okay, and it's not an exact clone, but it's kind of patterned after that. It's got a different, you know, forearm here, this pump handle, which I don't particularly like. I think I mentioned that in the first video. It's a little slippery. It's a little large or something. I don't know. But so it's kind of patterned after the 870. All right. Now the 870s, of course, who knows with Remington? You know, it's hard to find a lot of good to say about Remington Arms Company and the shotguns they've been making and all that kind of thing over the past several years. But this one, of course, is in better shape. It costs a lot to get it to this point, right? But now you can get a Remington. I looked around a little bit for like 400, 500, in that category. In this configuration, if you trust Remington and, you know, can find it. But a lot of people really like the Mossberg, including myself. And so, I don't know, I just thought it'd be interesting to do a little comparison and how dramatically different they might be, or maybe how they're not so dramatically different. Don't know. Well, I do know, kind of. Now, I've not shot thousands of rounds in each one, but, you know, you have to kind of make your own judgment to some extent. And as I always say, the big disclaimer, caveat is, you really want to go around the internet, take advantage of that thing called the internet, and see what experience people are having. Again, sometimes we have trouble with something nobody else has trouble with, or we don't have trouble with something other people have trouble with, and it's still just a sampling of whatever, 10 people or 6 people or even 20. So sometimes on the forums, just, you know how to Google. I do that all the time, Google a gun. And I'll land on a review, I'll land on a video, I'll land on a discussion in one of the gun boards, Glock Talk or somewhere, where they're discussing the firearms, and I'll read long threads, and you'll have maybe 20 people or more jump in who have had experience with that firearm, and there was no dog in the fight, and, you know, giving their experience and all that. I'm sure you all do the same thing. But that's where I begin to get a picture of a firearm, especially one thing about buying it, you know. And if we're going to do a review on one, I like to see what people are saying about them. And I have heard some negative things about these Turkish guns. This is made in Turkey. If you haven't seen the first video, be sure you go to it first. Don't be listening to me right now. Go to that other video first. But it's Turkish made, and it's very inexpensive, but it's made out of real steel, chrome moly, and chrome chamber, and it looks like it should be a good shotgun. There's nothing that jumps out at you. I'm not convinced in terms of the how it's put together, but I'm going to shoot it again. Can I do that? Because in the first video, it doesn't seem as smooth to cycle, and that falls under kind of reliability. You know, that's pretty important, the reliability. And I'm not convinced from this one, safety on there, that it's as reliable, or would be as reliable with a wide range of shells as that Mossberg or that Remington for that matter. I have a difficulty cycling it smoothly or fast or anything. I have to really focus on it. All right, I'm gonna try. For one thing, again, it's slippery. See right there, okay. Let's just go ahead and shoot the pumpkin. There we go. Yeah, it's I'll try that again, but I've not had good luck just coming up and boom, 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 like I normally can do with this one, or that one. Okay, so that might seem like it wouldn't necessarily be the most important thing, safety, but kind of shows you. I say one of the differences is Mossberg loads like butter. You can just roll them in there. I mean, it's just smooth, smooth, smooth. You know, no problem with that one in the cycling. So to me, you know, more money gets you, I don't know, just maybe better design, better quality control, more reliability. I'm not going to shoot the 870. It's the same thing. I've shot it a lot and shot it in videos. So about anything you see here on the Mossberg, you're seeing on this. Now with slugs, it seems to be just as accurate. It's not because it has rifling or anything, but it seems to shoot fine. I've shot a few slugs in the thing. The manual of operation of both of them is, you know, it's pretty simple. I mean, if you handle an 870, you handle this, you break the slide open right there. It's got a big button. You might not like that large button. And your safety's right here, just like on an 870. So there's nothing complicated about that. You know, design is tried and proven, you know, basically. The design is. You know, it feels smooth. I've worked it, tried to loosen it up, and I don't know. In the first video, I don't know if that was in the video, I guess it was. It looked to me like maybe the extractor is not as positive or something, But one of the rounds that didn't go in as easily, it was actually hitting on the side there of the chamber, I think. You know, the kind of stuff that I don't think I've ever had with the Mossberg. I've not had, this is a used one, but I've not had it that long. I've had that longer one, you know, for a long time. You've seen it in a lot of videos. But we'll shoot a couple slugs. Let's shoot things some more. And again, if you, I think y'all need to be aware that things like this exist. $140, like I said in the first video. Wow. I mean, if I just decide not to drive much for a week and could forego a tank and a half of gas in my Yukon, that would pay for this, you know, about a tank and a half's worth of gas. So let's try a slug here. All right, safety. Never did put one in. What should I shoot? How about, we've not hit two here yet, so let's just blast one. Oh man, and let's hit the gong since we have a slug. Yeah. Yeah. Let's try the propane tank. I'm knocking him over. And the hog. Boy, it really whops it, doesn't it? And a bowling pin. I didn't pick one up. That seems to happen more often to me on this gun, this shotgun, than it does the Mossberg or the Remington. And in terms of other differences, I don't know. You know, I think you cannot ignore the fact that both of these, the 870 and the Mossberg, and I'm not really, necessarily comparing specific firearms, but just like kind of what you could buy if you throw a few more $100s in, but also what you could buy with less than 150. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? Is it like the Mossberg 590? It's adopted by the military. I don't know how many of them they're still using, but it's been used. It's been really proven in combat, and the 870 as well for a lot of years, decades. So I look at those as just civilian firearms, military firearms, proven, everything. That's one thing I don't suppose you get with this. I don't think the military probably anywhere, even in Turkey, is adopting a $140 shotgun. I might be wrong. Maybe they are one just like this with some possible enhancements. Don't know. But yeah, there you go. So that's one thing. It seems smooth. In terms of reliability, I can't rate it as high as those. And if you're buying a shotgun for defense, yeah, and that's what these would be, kind of the role they'd be serving in this configuration, I would guess, most often. I don't know. I'd probably want to spend a little more money if I could. But kind of like a High Point or anything else, if you are on a tight budget, it is a gun, and it seems to work. And I think I'd rather have this than a really cheap pistol or something that was totally unreliable. Which brings up another topic. The fact that it's pump inherently, I think, makes it a little more manageable. I'll say reliable, although some would argue that you don't get more reliable than an M4, Benelli and that sort of thing, if you get a good semi-auto. But I think the bar is a little bit higher with a semi-auto. With a pump gun, a really cheap pump gun, you might get something that works pretty well. With a really cheap semi-auto shotgun, I think you might not get something that works or lasts very long. Okay, I'm gonna try to shoot this again, pump some out here. I don't know. I'm gonna slow down, I guess, but I just don't have like I said in the first video, I don't get a warm and fuzzy feeling about shooting this thing fast if I needed to. But I'm gonna try to do it deliberately. Okay, seems like if I slow down like that, I don't try to just, really machine gun it, maybe it'll work most of the time. Okay, again, $140, and that's the main point. You can get a shotgun that works for $140. let's do this one more time, and I'll let y'all get out of here. That thing unsafe. The feel of a $500 or $600 shotgun, like either one of these, and these are big names, of course. Remington 870, Mossberg 590s, 500. You just have a solid feeling, even though it's an alloy frame, aluminum alloy frame. You just feel good about it, like it's going to work, unless you do something like short shuck it or something. When I shot, in the heat of the moment, I shot that bowling pin. I tried not to do that with buckshot. This one here, man, is the one I want to take to battle. I'm going to do this one more time. Safety on. And the thing is, if something is dramatically less expensive, with a lot of products, you think about it, I don't know, what, can't think of that, a plate or a hammer, I don't know. Something that's a lot cheaper, if it works at all, it might be worth it, you know? If it's nothing that's going to get you hurt because it doesn't work 100%, you know? With a firearm, you know, nice if it's less money, but you want to be careful about that, don't you? It has to work, or it's not worth a penny at all. So, all right, let me try again now. I'm going to try to speed up a little bit, see if I can get her to function. Okay, pretty well, but you know, that's that one sort of hung up. That's kind of what we get occasionally with it. And I think that's what you're looking at for the main difference between a $140 shotgun, pump shotgun, and a $500 or $600 pump shotgun in today's market. Now, you could buy a $1,000 pump shotgun probably and have trouble with it, right? And you might have one of these or buy one, and you might never have that issue I have had really since we bought it, or didn't buy it, borrowed it, but that I get occasionally, almost every magazine load, almost. I'll have one, I just, okay, it's like I'm short shucking, but I'm not really short shucking, I don't think. Just, again, just not a smooth in operation. So that's kind of our experience with a $140 shotgun. But as far as the, you know, Turkey's pretty famous for making, you know, some really high quality shotguns, in fact. So I expect it to work. It's supposed to be really pressure tested and all that kind of thing, and you know, be made okay. But you know, time will tell. If you've had one of these and you have fired it a lot, you know, let people know what your experience is, you know, with it. If any parts of it are wearing, or you're seeing any of the things that I see with it. But anyway, I just think it's interesting. A shotgun can be had for 140, literally 140 bucks as we're recording, okay, for this shotgun, and you know, same configuration that you're looking at there. So, you know, your choice, of course, but that's kind of what you get in today's market. I think at least it's a glimpse of what of some popular firearms that are available. You know, doesn't get more, I guess, widely known than a Remington 870 or a Mossberg 500, 590, you know, in that category. You just get a smoother, I consider it more reliable, smoother, probably going to last a lot longer, you know. Not that maybe anybody's going to shoot one enough to give it a really good test, you know, over 20 years, I don't know. And then, of course, the reputation, you know, Mossberg, Remington, I don't know about their reputation. But maybe if it's an old Remington, or maybe a brand new one, maybe they're doing a better job these days. But you know, reputation-wise, you know, Mossberg, we know that what you get when you buy that. This shotgun, I'm not so sure what the reputation is yet. I think you know, some of that information's out there. Share what you know. So anyway, that's enough. I've yacked enough and probably shot enough. Just thought while we still had it, we'd you know, talk a little bit about that and that contrast, which is pretty extreme. When you think of a Mossberg pump shotgun, you don't think of a high dollar firearm, do you really? You know, $500 or $600. You know, it's not 2,000, but yet you still have quite a chasm between the price on those two firearms. It's just pretty impressive that anybody can make one for that price. So anyway, if that helps you any good, and it probably didn't, but at least I tried a little bit. Give me credit for that. Life is good.
Oh yeah, that's better. This is a great gun for defense. Oh hey, didn't see you guys there. While I've got you here, I want to remind you of our friends over at Talon Grips and Ballistol. Talon Grips makes grips, can you believe it, for all different types of firearms. You can get rough texture or more of a rubberized texture. It just sticks right on there. You know, really affordable, really cool option to improve the grip for your handguns or rifles. So please check them out at talongungrips.com. You'll be glad you did. And also Ballistol. Dad has been using Ballistol for many years. It's a cleaner and a lubricant, and it's non-toxic. It works really great, and we're happy to have them on board since it's been a part of our shooting endeavor for a very long time. So go to ballistol.com, talongungrips.com. And also, while you're out there, I'm juggling all these things here. Also, while you're on the internet, please do check out our other social media like Hickok45 on Facebook. There's also Hickok45 on Twitter, The Real Hickok45 on Instagram. There's a John_Hickok45 on Instagram where I do some things. There's Hickok45.com. You can find us also on Gunstreamer. So check out all that stuff and then watch more videos.